This is the citadel of Pergamum from below. It's a spectacular view over 250 meters above sea level.
You can get some idea of the beauty of this site from this view of the reservoir, which was developed just fairly recently.
And now we're standing in front of the entrance and we can see some of the fortifications.
You know, this place looks absolutely awesome. What do you say we go have a look?
I agree.
All right. The greatest vulnerability of Pergamum is the fact that it's on such a high hill. It's a lack of water. And so here you're looking at the cistern, a huge cistern in which water would be stored in case of siege. How did they get the water here? It's really cool. There was an aqueduct that came from a mountain that was just a little bit higher than this site. And the water ran down in the valley, as you can see, and went all the way up by pressure, all the way up the hill.
Emperor worship was a very big thing in the ancient world, and this is a temple of Trajan, begun 3 years after Revelation was written. It wasn't there, of course, when John wrote his book, but it gives us an idea of how important was emperor worship. Augustus was the one who first accepted it. He didn't want it, but Pergamum was the first invited emperor worship.
Here we're looking at the site of the altar of Zeus. This was one of the most spectacular parts of ancient Pergamum, and as you can see, it was actually taken up by archaeologists and is now housed in a museum in Berlin. But this was the site where it likely was, and some scholars think this is what John was talking about when he talked about the seat of Satan.
And this is the theatre where 15,000 people could be seated at any one time. It is possible for a person to go right down the bottom and whisper, and their voice can be heard at the back. For Christians, this was a test. Should they go to the theatre where often the plays were very immoral?
This is the last stop on our tour of the Acropolis of Pergamum. We're looking down over the valley, and as you look out there, you can see the Asclepion, which is an ancient medical school and a place where people went to find healing. Why don't we go have a look down there?
Well, John, I tell you, that's incredible up there, isn't it? The whole mountainside has been used for the citadel, and looking for the healing center, wow.
That is amazing.
Yeah, I reckon.
And what we have here is an old Roman road. They say all roads lead to Rome. Well,
right.
Eventually, if you go this way, you would get to Rome.
A long way, though.
But this healing center is interesting. It's called Asclepion. The symbol of it was actually a snake. The Asclepion is the doctor's symbol you sometimes see in offices today.
Right.
And that may be a reason why some Christians thought of this place as the seat of Satan. You know, we're not sure exactly what that was.
Right.
But it was a healing place, a medical school. People were trained here. Graham?
Why are you looking at me like that?
You're not looking so good. You're okay?
Well, I am feeling the heat.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, maybe you've come to the right place. Maybe they can help you here.
This drink up here might help me at the fountain?
Yeah. Let's give it a shot.
I'll give it a try,
right.
yeah. So this is the gate where they used to accept patients, and I've heard that the patient had to come here by their own strength. If they couldn't make it alone, they wouldn't accept them.
You mean all down that road?
All that road on your own strength, yeah, otherwise you wouldn't be accepted.
Well, I think you've got a pretty good chance.
Well, I'm just going to make it.
All right. Let's go in.
Okay. I'll give it a try. Whew.
How you feeling now, Greg?
Oh, great. Here is where the young doctors were taken and given instruction in the art of medicine. It's also a place where they took the patients, and we're dealing with something like a form of psychosomatic medicine. It is said that the patients at some stage were inhaling drugs through smoke they inhaled, and also they heard a voice saying all the time, "You're going to be healed, you're going to be healed, you're going to be healed." So it is believed it was an early form of mind-body psychosomatic medicine. It was here in this tunnel that the patient's mind was prepared for the healing. And you hear the water, they would hear the soothing sound of the effect of the water, and from these walls would come smoke which they would inhale, which would give them have a drug-like effect upon them, and they would also hear voices that telling them they were going to be healed. And Graham, you're feeling better. You're going to get well. I feel I'm being calmed.